All quests are now available for the limited time Pastus Prologue event, so you can now get the Chatterwhite shader that was originally from Destiny 1, along with other great loot, like God Rolled Cataphracts and Igneous Hammers, the Cloud Strike exotic sniper rifle, Artifice Armor, and more. If you're watching this before February 4th, 2025, then you can quickly and easily knock out all 8 of these quests in little over an hour. Quickly as I can, I'll explain the optimal way to complete each quest for all types of players, go over the loot, and my personal recommendations. So let's dive in. To start the event, visit the Drifter in the tower to get the Packed Lunch quest. This is the main quest that will eventually reward you with the Chatterwhite shader. To progress this quest and get other loot, you'll need to claim the other Bento Box quests found in the Drifter's limited time event menu. At the time of posting this video, only 4 are at the Drifter: Nightmare Lunch, the Stuff of Legends, a Dubious Bento, and Martial Mementos. The remaining 3, Drudgeons of Yore, Nightmare Kills, and Snakebite, are found at Xur, who is also in the tower. Once Xur leaves the tower on Tuesday, January 28th, those 3 quests will move to the Drifter. In short, you'll have access to all of the quests no matter what. Just where they're located will depend. All of these quests are once per account and tracked account-wide, so you can complete them on any character you like. The completion of all these quests will reward you with 8 Bento Tokens that are stored in your inventory and can be spent at Eris on the Moon in her limited time event menu. More on the loot later. To complete these quests, you'll be tasked to do activities regarding the Moon, Gambit, and Crucible. Nothing too difficult or time consuming, as all can be completed in about an hour or so, even if you are solo and not great at PvP. For Nightmare Lunch, you are tasked to complete activities on the Moon. Each activity is worth a set number of points, and you need 60 in total. Heroic Public Events and Lost Sectors are worth 5 points, Nightmare Hunts are worth 25 points, Altars of Sorrow is worth 3 points per wave and 18 points from the final boss, so 33 points in total, and the Pit of Heresy dungeon is worth 20 points per encounter, so a full run will complete the quest. For solo players, I'd recommend the match-made Nightmare Hunt or Altars of Sorrow. Those with a fire team, Pit of Heresy is the best option, and it'll help with the next quest. The Stuff of Legends quest tasks you to earn 2 points by completing the final encounter of any raid or dungeon. Dungeons are worth 1 point, raids are 2. For solo players, pick the easiest dungeon you have access to, which will either be Prophecy for free-to-play players, Shattered Throne, or Pit of Heresy for others. For fire teams, checkpoint farming Pit of Heresy's final boss is the best since you can pair that with the previous quest. For a Dubious Bento, you'll need to collect 10 Dubious Celery from defeating enemies in Gambit, and 10 Century Eggs from defeating enemies on the Moon. These have a fairly high drop rate, as you'll complete this within 1 Gambit match and from doing whatever activities on the Moon from the other quests. For the Martial Mementos quest, you need 200 kills with Malfeasance, Witherhoard, Touch of Malice, Xenophage, Arbalist, or Whisper of the Worm. However, currently Whisper of the Worm does not progress this quest. Check the pinned comment for any updates. Each kill is worth 1 point in PvE and 5 points in PvP, regardless of the weapon type, so use primary weapons like Malfeasance. For newer or free-to-play players, you might only have access to Arbalist, which is fine, just put on Special Finisher. You can get these kills anywhere, so use them while completing the other quests, or just farm a quick Lost Sector. For Drudgeons of Yore, you need to earn 50 points by defeating Guardians in Crucible or Gambit. It's not 50 kills, as Crucible Guardian kills and assists are worth 2 points, Crucible kills with hand cannons are 3 points, and doing so in Gambit against Guardians increases those by 1, so 3 points and 4 points respectively. Basically, just play normal Crucible with a hand cannon and you'll complete it in 1 to 3 games. For the Nightmare Kills quest, you need to earn 3 points by defeating Nightmare bosses and challenging enemies. These are found in Lost Sectors on the EDZ, Nessus, and the Moon, the mini-bosses from Altars of Sorrow, or the boss and special enemies found in Nightmare Hunts. Quickest option, Altars of Sorrow on the Moon. Finally, the Snakebite quest requires earning 200 points by defeating enemies with Gambit weapons. Any weapon that the Drifter offers in his focusing menus is fair game, as well as Malfeasance, and all weapons give 1 point for PvE and PvP kills. So use whatever you have, preferably a primary or machine gun like Breakneck or Quasivon 5, and farm enemies wherever. In summary, the optimal path to complete this is as follows. For solo players, the easiest dungeon you can solo twice, so Prophecy, Shattered Throne, or ideally Pit of Heresy, 1 Gamma game, 1 to 3 Crucible games, runs of either Altars of Sorrow or Nightmare Hunts, and then farm kills with those special exotic and gamut weapons in those activities first, then wherever you like to finish them up. For fire teams and DLC owners, Pit of Heresy final boss checkpoint twice, 1 Nightmare Hunt, 1 Gamma game, 1 to 3 Crucible games, then farm those specific weapon kills in lost sectors, sure, cheap, wherever. All in all, done in about an hour. So as long as the servers are still up and it's before February 4th, you have time to complete all of these. Now to get Chatterwhite, the Destiny 1 white shader, it comes from completing the Packed Lunch quest and eventually visiting the vending machine near the Drifter and 801. You need to complete 5 of the aforementioned quests, and I mean fully complete them. You get the Bento Tokens from the penultimate step of those quests. Using a token to purchase one of Eris's event items is what completes those quests. There's a bit of confusion on this based on what was said in a previous TWID. How it is displayed in-game is correct. Complete 5 quests, not spend 5 tokens. You will have to spend tokens to complete those quests, but what you can do is progress all of the quests up to where you visit Eris. Then when you visit her to spend all of your tokens, when you spend just 1 token, that will complete all of the quests. Warning though, do not spend your Bento tokens on alternate characters if they haven't picked up all the quests from the Drifter and Xur. Since spending the tokens is what completes those Bento box quests, if you spend all your tokens and don't have the quest, then you can't progress it when you do. And, so you know, the Chatterwhite shader is a faithful version from its D1 counterpart. It isn't a pure, clean white shader. There's some shades, hints of blue, and other accent colors from the underlining gear. Additionally, once you get the shader, it's currently not in the Collections tab, but you can equip it. On your weapons and appearance customization, it'll be the shader all the way at the end, not in the newest, most recent section. Alright, you have 8 tokens, what can you spend them on? Over at Eris on the Moon, you can purchase Ascendant Alloy, Ascendant Shards, Exotic Ciphers, and Spoils of Conquest, each for 1 token. The spoils you get is in a stack of 25, but you can only purchase that 3 times. Next, you have Mementos for 1 token each, which you can equip on crafted or enhanced weapons to give them a unique kill counter, title, and special shader. Those available are from Gambit, GM Nightfalls, Iron Banner, and the 4 holiday events. What you can't purchase is the Trials of Osiris or Raid Mementos. For materials and mementos, be aware of their inventory limit, so if you can't purchase them, it means you might be full and need to use some. Next, you have Artifice Armor for 2 tokens. These are set stat rolls, so what you see is what you get, and they are armor with a special mod slot to get a free +3 to any stat. Lastly, you have 5 weapons. The Exotic Sniper Rifle Cloud Strike, Cataphract GL3 Adept with Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch, Igneous Hammer Adept with Fragile Focus and Precision Instrument, Riptide with Compulsive Reloader and Chill Clip, and Horror's Least with Perpetual Motion and Kill Clip. The legendary weapons cost 1 token each. Cloud Strike costs 3 tokens and requires the ownership of the Beyond Light DLC. Sorry. Now, what should you spend them on? My advice is to always look over everything, choose what speaks to you and has the most value to you, and be happy with your purchase. Depending on who you talk to, some might say one item is their number 1 pick, while the same item for another is the bottom of their list. For my recommendations, focused first on the weapons. Cloud Strike, while always earnable if you own Beyond Light, is a pretty tedious grind, as it requires upgrading barracks and farming Empire hunts, while praying for good RNG. This just saves you all the hassle. And with the arc changes next episode, it'll get even better with the inclusion of the new Bolt Charge verb. For the legendary weapons, this is the only way to get the adept versions of Cataphract, Igneous Hammer, and Horror's Lease, as they are no longer in the active rotation. And these static rolls are excellent. For PvE, if you don't own Vesper's Host or can't grab the free God Roll Chill inhibitor from Banshee, this is the next best option for boss DPS, and it is a weapon I still use. For PvP, Igneous Hammer and Horror's Least have amazing rolls, and playing PvP will be even more worthwhile with the upcoming rewards to Trials of Osiris and its reward structure next episode. The only legendary weapon you could skip is Riptide, but it's not as a clear option as others have said. Yes, it is always available from Crucible, and you can get it with multiple perks, but it costs 3 engrams to focus since it isn't the newest weapon, there are 12 perks in its perk pool, and Crucible is the hardest core playlist to rank up as it gives the least amount of rep per minute. So if you don't have any chill clip weapon and don't like PvP, this is still a good pickup. For the Artifice Armor, honestly, you should skip it. Not only are the set rolls kind of bad, but the armor is getting reworked in Apollo, the next expansion. So who knows how useful it will be. If you want to play it safe, grab the class item if you don't own one already. For the rest of the offerings, focus on exotic Ciphers, as that is the rarest material, only farmable from resetting Rahul and Zur. Ciphers are used to unlock new exotic armor at Rahul, exotic weapons from the Monument to Lost Lights kiosk, and give Artifice mod slots to masterworked exotic armor. The shards, alloys, and spoils you can easily farm even if you are a solo or casual player, from Nightballs, Lost Sectors, Materials Exchange at Rahul, or weekly soloable raid chests. If you want a clear answer, here's the TLDR. For pretty much all players, it's Cloudstrike, Cataphract, Igneous Hammer, and the remaining unexotic Ciphers. That'll help you right now and in the future. If you want the rarer event Mementos, go for it. I just recommend you try before you buy. Inspect any enhanced or crafted weapon, and the first section of shaders after your favorites will be those that are exclusive to Mementos. And speaking of enhanced weapons, all of the legendary weapons you can purchase from Eris for this event are enhanceable, and that includes the non-adept versions you might have in your inventory already, just so long as they have an origin trait and are from Season of the Haunted and after. This allows you to enhance your perks, equip a memento, and use those new weapon mods. Pretty cool. If you agree or disagree with my recommendations, sound off in the comments. Everyone has different values, wants, and playstyles, so just respect each other's choices. If you found this video helpful, a like is greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing and ringing the bell to get notified on all the promising heresy content that is right around the corner. Maybe come check out the Sundown Gaming Discord to make some new friends. As always, I am your Commander Pika. Be kind, have fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield.